from Lab599, the Discovery TX500 QRP radio. This thing is like the thickness of a pack of cards, or maybe a pack of cigarettes. I didn't say that out loud, but the thickness of a pack of cards, which is probably it's probably twice as long as a pack of cards. And if I put it on the scale down here, it shows to be about just over 23 centimeters, but it's got knobs on it. It's very lightweight. It's very compact and portable, and we're going to check this out today.
Shut up and sit down.
Ham Radio 2.0, where we do reviews, news, and how-tos of things that are new in amateur radio. My name's Jason. I'm KC5HWB. Thanks much for joining us today. The main, and perhaps the only, importer of this radio into the United States is HRO, Ham Radio Outlet, who currently, I think, might actually finally have them in stock. That's why I'm doing a video on it now, because for a while, they didn't have any of these in stock at all. So I got one, and that's all great, but if they're not in stock, actually right now, I just now pulled up the HRO website, and it does still show out of stock. So not really sure what the current status of this is, but HRO is the unique seller for them in the United States. I believe Martin Lynch & Sons over in the EU sells them as well. There's probably a couple, 3 different places around the globe that has this radio. So let's do an unboxing of it real quick. I want to show you what it looks like and just kind of what's in the box. So we're going to go over here to this view right here. This is the Discovery HF and 50 megahertz transceiver, the TX500. That right there. All modes, digital, single sideband, CW, digital, AM, and FM. General receive coverage from 0.5 to 56 megahertz, 160 to 160 meters on the ham bands. And it does say, it is stamped for the FCC. I took this out a second ago. This manual is actually pretty decent. It's got a really detailed list here of what's in what the buttons are, what the display, everything on the display. It's got the FCC logo right there. Amateur radio operation only. It says right there at the bottom. So we're going to do that. So let's just open this up real quick. This is the radio. Like I said, it's pretty lightweight. I put it back in the box before I started unboxing it. Oh, it's even stamped with the FCC on the back of the radio. I didn't see that a minute ago. There's these metal look like magnetic connector ports right here on the back that I don't know what those go to. I'm going to have to look that up and see. But it looks like maybe some sort of docking station for it. I don't know. These connectors here on the ends, these are your interface connectors, power connectors, antenna, and whatnot. They look like these old-style Yaesu or Elenco type microphone pins is what they look like. It's a BNC. This is your antenna, obviously, for the BNC connection. But it says on the top of the radio what's what. In fact, I want to take this out of the... Okay, let me look at this. This is the microphone. Looks kind of like a TYT MD 2017 microphone, honestly. And these are all the connections that come with it. That's pretty much it. Put that over there. On my nifty little pad here, these are centimeters down here at the bottom. So if you measure the edge of the antenna port to the edge of the BNC port right here, it's just over 23 centimeters. Just over 23 centimeters. So I thought that was kind of an important thing to look at. But right here, let's zoom down on this. We can see this is your DC in for 9 to 15 volts. So that's going to be this cable here. And the part that I was worried about with this thing was like, okay, so it's got all these funky plugs on the side of it, like right here, all these right here. Is it going to be hard to find cables for? Well, it comes with everything. So that's good. That's good. This is pretty thin wire actually here, but this cable right here goes in the port there. That's your power cable. This says REM data. This is the mic and speaker. So I guess it's a speaker mic. That makes sense, I suppose. This is your antenna, which is the BNC on the right here. Kind of makes sense. Cat control and CW key also on the right. So it comes with this extra plug here that goes, that's like an 8-pin right there. Okay, so that's for the data. This unwired plug is for the data. And each of these is different. This is what something that's important to note. There's 5 pins in there, there's 4 pins in there, that's BNC obviously. There are 2 pins in there, that's an 8-pin, and that's like a 6-pin right there. So make sure you can see that in the camera. So they're all different. So you can't plug the microphone into the speaker port or into the cat port, and you can't plug the cat into the CW port, whatnot. There's your data cable right there. Very reminiscent of a data cable for the Zygu series radios, but at least on this end, at least the Zygu series radios have this blue USB on one end. This end is completely different here, but this is the 4-pin. So the 4-pin is going to go in this cat control right here, obviously. So that goes directly to your computer. This right here is, looks like, oh, that's a push to talk button. Sorry, that was out of the that was out of the camera. This is a push to talk button and an external speaker. So you can do a splitter thing here. This is, yeah, that's going to be the 8-pin that goes in the speaker port, right? Or no, that's the 6-pin, isn't it? Yeah, that's the 6-pin right there that goes in the speaker port. So you can do the microphone itself, which also has the same plug here to the microphone speaker, or you can do this splitter thing and have a push to talk and perhaps a headset, like a headset coming out of one of these. Like that. So there's multiple options for the microphone. This would go to the microphone. This is a Velcro strap that goes around your finger for push to talk, and then you can put like either a microphone or a speaker headset or something like that in there. This one's marked headset here and microphone here, so you got options for that. That's kind of cool. I like that. I wonder where the speaker is if we just plug the microphone. The microphone, I assume, is a speaker mic. It looks like an HT speaker mic, so we're going to test that later and see. So this is the tune knob. This is a very smooth tune knob here. You've got all these power and bands down here, this stuff here. So let's hook it up and see what it looks like real quick. I've got it plugged up to power. Hit the power button there. That's the flash screen that comes up when it first powers on. Comes up to 30 meters. And there's a little bit of glare in it right there. Hopefully I can... Okay, that's good. Let's put it like that. There we go. So that's... So we can go band up and band down with these 2 buttons right here. It's 20 meters. 17. It's on CW mode. Filter 1. Shows you the voltage right there, 13.1 volts, which is what my power supply is running. Let's see, that's a time, I guess. Receive AB. So we can go mode, change it to digital, AM, FM. I can do FM on 17 meters, that's fun. Upper sideband. Doesn't let me go to lower sideband, which is fine. It might do that if I... Oh, yeah. Okay, so if you long press it, it'll go to lower sideband, so you can do that. Not that you'd really want to, but, you know, the option is there. Filter, 1, 2, and 3. 4. Okay, so this itty-bitty number below, which I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Let me see if I can zoom down a little bit more. Okay, that's pretty good right there. Yeah, so filter 1 is 3.00 kilohertz. So this is a narrowing filter is what it is. So hit filter 2, it goes to 2.7, 2.4, 2.05 filter, and then 3. And you can see this graph here at the bottom changing when I do that. This little bar here gets more narrow on the bar graph, and then it gets wider when you go back to filter 1. So this is a narrowing filter here. Then we can go into the menu, and menu up, down. Okay, menu up is here, menu down is here. It says right here. So menu up. Okay, there it is. So you've got an IF. So you've got an IF DSP. CW pitch. Looks like it's got about, it starts with 00 and goes to 28. So it looks like it's got about 29 menus there. Val coder, okay. IF DSP, CW pitch, you can change CW speed, you can change all that. That's nice. CW weight, CW key type single, auto iambic B, reverse disable, type single, okay. AGC, RF, power 100%. So you can turn the power down there. Yeah, you just turn the knob here to turn the power down if you want to. So I didn't see it in the manual, but on the website, I took a look at the website. It's 10 watts PEP. So 100% power would be 10 watts. So if you want to drive an amp at 5 watts or something, you can turn it down to 50% power, something like that. So that's good to know. And then we can keep going, menu up. Gain, noise blanker. It's got a noise blanker and a noise reduction. NR level, noise blanker level, both set at 50. Squelch, Vox, AM/FM enable. Oh, you can turn that off, okay. Equalizer, RPAN and TPAN, 22 hours. Transmit meter is a power. Oh, you can change the meter. Well, I say that. Oh, okay, so that's what you do. So you can change the meter on the device, which is this part right here. Is that S meter right here. So we can go to power, number, SWR, ALC, mic. A few options in there, so that's good. I'm going to leave it on power number. That's fine. Type, tone type, Vox CW, beep, enabled, backlight. Okay, good. You can change it. Backlight brightly, auto, dimly. Oh, you saw that change in the camera, surely. Auto, brightly. So it has 3 of those. Auto, brightly, dimly. So if I put it on auto here in the shack where I've got all my lights shining on me, it pretty much goes dim. I assume that'll help conserve battery power. Of course, we're on a power supply right now. It doesn't matter. So there's that. Okay, good. But that's good to know. You know, a lot of these smaller radios don't have the option to change that. So it's really good to see that that is that option there. And then we got contrast. We can turn that up and down. That's obviously way too high. 21 was the normal. 21's middle of the road there. That's pretty good. I like that. Contrast. And then we're back to 00. So that is everything in that. We've got over here on the right. This is your AF gain button, which is just going to be your volume. Turn that up. Don't hear anything. There's no speaker plugged in. There's no internal speaker. So that's important to note. There's also no internal battery. You need an external power source, similar to a KX2, KX3, or G90. So, of course, you can put your own battery in a KX2, KX3, but they don't come with it. So this is your RIT and XIT adjustment right there, which will change on the screen. These are RX clarifier VFO memory channels. You can lock it and up, down over on the right there. So this is a neat little radio. I'm looking forward to using it at Field Day. The next part of the video will be me hooking it up to the Buddy Hex at Field Day and trying some operating. So stay tuned. It's been a little bit of time since I recorded the first part of that video, and I did not end up using the radio at Field Day that year. That was last year. Field Day of 2021 is where I intended to use the radio, and too much going on and blah blah blah. And quite frankly, I'm kind of sad to say this, but I really haven't done anything with this radio since then. Before like a week ago, okay. So I wanted to go ahead and finish this video because I'm about to start on a couple other videos. By now, you will have already seen my DigiRig video that I did to interface this into a DigiRig and do FT8 with it. So if you haven't seen that, you can check that. I'll link that right here. But I wanted to do some receiving on this radio because I've got the shack set up better now than I did when I recorded the first part of that radio anyhow. And we're going to take this thing and do some POTA with it at a later date. So, in fact, there's the POTA website right there. I think I can zoom in on that. So there's what's currently on the POTA website. Now, I just scanned through the band on this guy, and I can't really hear that much. Well, I can't really hear that much on POTA. I found a couple of nets, found a couple of guys rag chewing, no problem there. I just want to scan through the 20-meter band and do some receiving on it. And then in a later video, we're going to do some POTA activations and maybe QSOs. And I might have a guest or two who actually owns this radio, like I do, come on and talk about it at a certain time. So let's just do some. So there's the I'm at 14.264 right now. Now, what I can do, let me switch over. You guys get a better look at the radio itself. What I can do with this is there's a noise reduction right here. So you can see how well that works. Hopefully you can hear that in the microphone. Noise blanker, which puts this static into it. Not sure on that. I think NF is notch filter. I'm not sure how to use that, so I'll do some research on that later. And then you can change the squelch right there. Return. You've got a preamp, which turns that up. And then it turns it off, and then you press it a second time, and it turns the attenuator on. So it's got one setting on the attenuator. Presumably that's 6 dB. I don't really know what it is. It probably says in the manual. I haven't looked it up. So you can turn everything off. One press will turn the preamp on, off. Another press will turn the attenuator on, and then off. This you can control RF gain here. Just like that. So it's got some cool features in it. It does not have a built-in tuner. It doesn't have a built-in sound card. It doesn't have a built-in, what else? Battery. And it's got several things with it that, I mean, it's a very, I don't want to say it's a basic radio, but it is certainly it's an advanced radio in a small package that's made for portable work that you can add stuff to later and put it like that. So let's tune around the band and see if we can find somebody talking to see show you guys what it sounds like on the receiving side anyway. There was a guy calling CQ POTA on this frequency a minute ago. I couldn't hear him, but I could hear the station calling back to him. There's a guy on 14310 in Spain doing a POTA from Spain. Wonder if I can hear that dude. Not at first glance. It's kind of crap there. 269. Can't really hear any POTA stations. 228. That's where I just was. 310. Here we go. A lot of that noise is just my crummy environment with all the RFI. It sounds like crud. Something about that frequency. You move off that frequency, that goes away. It's going to be a fun video turning off my entire house and finding the RFI. I'm looking forward to that. I really am. I think that'll be a fun exercise. And find out if the RFI is coming from my house or coming from my neighbor's house.
Well, I guess some of them do, but a lot of it is just changing out by panels and stuff. But $4,000.
Wow.
Oh, boy,
Noise reduction completely cut the noise out.
2007 Silverado. 2007.
That sounds fantastic.
Like I said, they just replaced the whole quarter in and
Those guys sound really good.
They just replaced the whole quarter and repainted it, and took about 3 weeks to get it done, but it came out beautiful, perfect, and even the paint stain on it. Yeah, that truck I had, I bought it from
Yeah. So there we go. So the receiver on this thing is actually pretty darn good. I like that it has an attenuator. I like that it has a preamp. The noise reduction seems to work well. The noise blanker, I'm not so sure about. It doesn't seem to really do anything with the noise blanker, other than putting a bunch of noise into the signal. So I've had this radio for probably, at the time of this recording right here, I've probably had this radio for 6 or 8 months, and I've never done a firmware update to it. So I don't even know if there's firmware updates out there. And for the longest time, since I got this radio, I bought this radio directly from Lab599, from Lab599. Bought it directly from them. At the time, HRO was sold out. HRO is the only supplier in the United States that's selling these, as far as I know. Last time I checked. And I asked the Lab599 folks, I'm like, is HRO still going to sell that? Because I emailed them like a month ago, like around the first part of the year. They're like, oh, yeah, just supply chain issues. That's why they've been backordered for so long. Understand, everyone's going through that. Nothing against them at all. But HRO actually got some in stock here just not too long ago, and I know that Sean Ham Radio Dude picked one up himself. So, and he's liking this radio a lot better than his X6100, so he tells me. So this is still a thing. They're going to be, hopefully you're going to see some pop up on the HRO website here and there. I think they're going to sell quickly depending on how many HRO gets. So I'll share a link to it in the description below. But I know that Tom N3WS got one of these, Tango Oscar Mike, Tom from the Tango Oscar Mike channel. And he's really liking it. He's had one for a few months now, and he's really liking it. So I'm looking forward to getting this thing out in the field, trying it out, seeing how well it works on FT8. And how well it works on Parks in the Air and that kind of stuff. So who wants this radio? Who's got one? Does anyone else got one? Put a comment below. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what your thoughts are on the radio. Let me know what accessories you've got for it, because I'm starting to see a lot of accessories pop up. And I've already picked up one or two of them, and I'm waiting on one or two more. So you're going to see some stuff on that upcoming also. 73 guys, thanks for watching today, and have a good one. Record. Boy, it seems like it's been a long time since I recorded a video. That's kind of sad. Actually, I think that's kind of sad.